Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. Check out the live podcast we did on Saturday. It was a good one. Challenges teenagers or young men and women face in today's social media society. But today's topic is going to be something completely different. It's going to be about older people like me. And thinking you're too old or thinking you're not too old or allowing society to tell you you're too old for that. I was thinking about having another kid. Of course, I don't have a woman in my life today, so I would have to find a good mate or a good mother, which is very challenging here in the United States. But hey, it's a gigantic world out there, and there are a lot of beautiful, good women that want to be mothers, that want to raise children, that want to be what they call a housewife or something like that. Anyway, a good mother, a good mate. Don't judge all women by what you see on Instagram or social media. Some of these OnlyFans women, not all women are like that. I mean, they have a right to live whatever kind of life they want. If they want to be like that, that's fine. I have nothing against that. I have nothing against that. I have nothing against, what do they call them now? Sex workers? I'll use that. Whatever they want to do. But I don't believe that they make good mother and, wife material or mate material for a high value or high status man. But with that being said, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But statistics will show that women that have had more than, 3 to 5 partners have a hard time staying with one person. Okay? I've had both. I've had women with a lot of partners, and I've had women with no partners except me. And the ones that had been with no one except me, or the ones that had only been with 1 or 2 men before me, were really good, loyal girlfriends and wives, as far as that goes, to a certain degree. Okay, but we'll pass on with that. Lately, I've been thinking about having another child. Well, I'm 61 years old, right? And what are people going to say? Wow, you're too old to have a kid. Everybody's going to be calling you grandpa instead of their father. They do that now. I got 6 kids under the age of 21. My oldest son just turned 21 today. I have 8 kids all together. I did not become a father, an active father, till I was 37 years old. Okay, I had a child before that, or so I was told, but I didn't know, okay? So I'll guarantee you I was a much better father at the age of 37 than I would have been at 27. And I would be a much better father today than I was at 37 because I have experience. What's the old 10,000 hour rule? It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. I don't know if anybody can ever become an expert at being a father, but you can become better with experience. I'm a much more patient and tolerant man than I was when I was younger. I mean, I could tell that by my last relationship with this girl that I dated that lived in Medellin, South America, in Colombia. I was extremely patient with her because she was a lot younger than me. Like Richard Gere's wife is 40 some years younger than him. This girl was about 40 years younger than I was. Yeah, right around there, 40 years, 39, something like that. So when you go out with women that are 20, 19, 21, it's different, okay? And they're a lot younger. They like to do a lot of things. They make a lot of mistakes, just like you or I have. But moving on to, are you too old or not? So Richard Gere is 70 years old. I didn't know this till this morning. And I'll read the little article here. Richard Gere and his wife, Alejandra Silva, have welcomed their second son. A rep for the actor confirms to CNN. Gere, 70, and Silva, 37. 43 years difference, right? Is that 43 years? 40, 37, 47, 57, 67. Yeah, no, 33. 37. 47, 57, 60, 33 years difference. Okay. Already have a 14-month-old son, Alejandra. Gere also has a 20-year-old son from a previous marriage. So this guy is 70 years old and he had another kid. Now, how many people do you think are telling him, God, you're too old to be having another kid? Is he? Well, he just did it, didn't he? And you may say, well, that's Richard Gere. What is the difference between Richard Gere and you? Maybe his success is greater, or is it? That depends on what you call success. Success is different to each person. If he can afford it and he can do it and his wife wants to, what is the problem? It's his life. Why should he live for anyone else? Now, some of you may say, well, it's not fair to the child. It's not. Is he going to die tomorrow? You don't know. He may live another 30 years. And I'll guarantee you, with his experience in life, he's a better father now than he would be when he was younger. Well, he can't play with the kid. He can't do this. He can't do that. How do you know he can't at 70 years old? Maybe you can't, but if you can't, you could if you got yourself in shape. I can do anything I could do in my 20s. Now, I may not be quite as sharp in the boxing ring as I was in my 20s, but I still spar with my sons, and I'm 61, okay? My youngest son is 12. I don't spar with him, but the only one that will spar with me is the 16-year-old. The rest of them don't want to, okay? But he's pretty brave. He was like doing flips over firecrackers the other night while they were exploding. So he's pretty daring, but I still do that. I'm still in shape. I can outwork any of my boys. Okay, so there you go. Am I unique? No. I may be unique in the aspect that I have worked out and taken care of myself all my life. But even if you haven't, your body is amazing. You can get back into shape. The point I'm making in this video is, do not listen to people who tell you that you are too old to achieve your desires. It may not be to have another kid, but you have desires within you, and you probably even think yourself that you're too old. Well, you're not too old unless you believe you're too old. Well, you may say, well, Mark, it's different for me. I got to take all this medication. I got this, I got that. And I'm not denying that those aren't tangible facts today, but all these things can be changed. Okay, if you're on a lot of medication, and I'm not telling you to stop taking your medication, okay? Consult your doctor first, of course. But do what you can do. Be your own healthcare practitioner. You can change your diet, you can change your intake, you can take exercise, you can do many things that would possibly eliminate your need to take all these medications. Take care of your body. You take your car to the car wash, you wash it, you shine it, you change the oil, but yet you put garbage into your body. I was working at the Lake of the Ozarks, and it's like, when you eat out, it's so difficult to find something that is healthy for you. And after I ate that type of food, the fast food, I felt like crap. I could tell the difference in how I felt, because normally I eat organic, I eat good food. I get fresh meat at the butcher shop. I eat tuna. I try to eat the best I can, less processed foods. I don't eat out fast foods, like I said, unless I'm traveling. And even then, I'll take some of my own food with me. I eat fresh fruits. I eat dates because I like sugar. So I get my sugar from my fruits. But you're only going to be too old if you believe you're too old. I always reference this woman I knew when I was younger. She was 76. And she was like a teenager. And all the time she had young people stopping by her house. Every time I went by there, there was people there, because she had the spirit and the attitude of a young person. And she passed on at maybe 78 or 79 because one of her sons died, and she really just couldn't get over that. It really broke her heart. I think he might have taken his own life, but it was really hard for her, and I think she was ready to go after that. But until that happened, she got out in her yard, she did her flowers, she did all that stuff. Every time you'd come over there, she'd get up and fix something for you to eat. or give you some cookies she had baked or whatever. She'd try to serve you. She was a servant and people loved her. Whoever wishes to be great among you must be your servant. So there are many things you can do to change your attitude and outlook upon life. And one of the most important things I can tell you to do is to serve other people. Give away what you want in life. You cannot bring happiness and joy into someone else's life without actually bringing it multiplicatively into your own life. These things invigorate the body and make you feel healthy. Hang around with young people. Quit hanging around with people who talk about their medications, their aches, and their pains. Young people talk about it too, but they don't talk about it in the same way. And also by listening to them talk about their hurts, their aches, and pains, you realize that it's not just your age, that you had the same thing when you were younger, but you've forgotten that. Sure, we're all going to get old and we're all going to pass on from this realm of existence. But many people die before they're ever buried in the grave. And don't let that be you, because it doesn't have to be you. You can change your life, change your thinking, change your life. When you change your thinking, you change your actions, your attitude changes, and your whole world changes. You start seeing the world from a different perspective. Quit listening to people, society, and everyone that tells you you're too old. When I was 40, people were telling me I was too old to do this, too old to do that. Well, I'm still doing it, and I'm still enjoying it, and I'm still healthy and vigorous, and I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate to have children. I've been through some rough times in life, as I'm sure you have too. But don't let these situations make you bitter. Allow them to make you better. What have you learned from them? How have you grown from them? If you have any resentment against anybody, remember they did the best they could at the time. 2 or 3 of my ex-wives tried to throw me in jail with false accusations. Had my kids taken away from me 3 or 4 or 5 times. I was accused of abusing my kids. Well, they're all with me today and I didn't abuse them, right? Okay, they were doing the best they could. They were doing what they learned how to do to try to get what they wanted. And they didn't want to lose their kids. So they did that. So if anyone has hurt you, realize that even if what they did was terrible or seemingly terrible, they did the best they could at the time. We've all made mistakes. We all did the best we could. Would you go back and make the same mistake again? Of course not, because now you know better. It's the same with those people, and maybe they haven't learned yet. Haven't you made the same mistake over and over in certain areas of your life until you finally got it? I know I have. I failed. I made the same mistakes over and over until I finally got the lesson. Everything that I look back on that seemed terrible at the time turned out to be one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. My last girlfriend, my last ex-wife, it was pretty heartbreaking when I lost them, but I knew I had to walk away from that. But yet, looking back in retrospect, I wouldn't change that for nothing, because through that painful situation, I grew. I looked within myself, and I learned so much about myself. I uncovered, I discovered, and I discarded some old things that were in me that I would not have known were there had I not gone through that. So if you've broken up with your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever, look within yourself, because that's where the answers lie. Otherwise, you will continue to do the same thing over and over again. And you don't want to go through that pain again. And these painful things can cause resentment. And we are like a triune being, or physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. That's like 4, but you get the picture. Okay, so we have to address all these aspects of our life if we want to have health and vigor, which you can have no matter what age you are. All right, that's all we have time for today. Gotta go. Thanks for joining me. Smash that like button and have a great day.